Landgrebe Lawn Care is looking to add some more lawns for the 2024 season. If you or someone you may know is interested, you can contact Austin Landgrebe at 641-660-7874 for free estimates. Landgrebe Lawn Care will also travel outside of the Sigourney area. Bush and small tree work, lawn rolling, and much, much more. Landgrebe Lawn Care for all your lawn care needs. Call 641-660-7874. Mowing, rolling, sweeping, snow blowing, and lots more. Now doing skid loader work. And a good morning. Welcome to Brothers Market here in beautiful downtown Sigourney. We've got the sports section live on the air from Brothers Market again at, let's see here, 118 South Main in Sigourney. Call 641-622-2191. And look who's back. We've got Coach Hobbs hanging out as our guest, or as our host today, not our guest. We've got our guest waiting in the wings here momentarily, but let's first start things off with Jenny Hobbs. Jenny, take it away.
Good Saturday morning, all you sports fans. And I'll start with the week that was. So March Madness has started, the greatest time of the year. And let's cap it off last night. If you stayed up late, the Iowa State women came back from 20 to beat, my gosh, I'm having a brain fart, Maryland, and Coach Brenda Fries. I know her. I mean, I've hung out with her before. Anyway, and yes, the second largest comeback in NCAA history, Audie Crooks, Iowa girl, put down 40 points, 12 rebounds. And then the men won, the Iowa State men. The Iowa women finally get a play today, first round. And I did a little research. The cheapest tickets on StubHub, if you're still thinking about going this afternoon, were $333 last night. You can get them up to $3,000 if you wanted. So it's going to be a sellout in Carver Hawkeye again today. The Iowa men had a big win over Kansas State in the NIT. And again, I looked it up on the box score. The women are going to have a sellout today. The men had 4,532 people in attendance. Capacity at Carver is 15,000, by the way. And then high school-wise, it's spring. Soccer scrimmages have started and track meets have started. So hopefully the weather picks up a little bit and we don't have to freeze at these track meets. But there we go. March Madness, spring sports, the week that was.
All right, we are in full effect into spring here on the sports section. As you can see, we are live at Brothers Market, 118 South Main in Sigourney. You might want to check out their digital app. They've always got some great deals on the digital app on Brothers Market. You can see some of the things going on this week, some of the different deals, so make sure you check that out. Also something, as you see when you walk into the store, you'll see that their spring hours are going to be starting up on April 1st, as they'll be open until 9 p.m. Those are actually spring and summer hours starting on April 1st, open until 9 p.m. at Brothers Market. All right, let's go back to Coach Hobbs with our guests for today. Jenny, take it away.
I would like to welcome Carly Goodwin, senior at Sigourney High School, and Shay Moore, who is, are you still teaching kindergarten?
I am still teaching kindergarten.
She's kindergarten teacher and basketball coach, track coach. What other roles do you host?
Avid softball fan.
There we go. Have your lawn chair in the outfield, or have you moved closer?
Still in the outfield, but I'm a stander.
Okay, stander.
Yes.
All right. Well, yeah. And my mom was a mom of a pitcher as well. My sister pitched in high school, so I understand that. Can't sit still when your kid is pitching.
No.
You just can't.
No.
Okay. All right. And Carly, how's your senior year going?
Pretty good. It's going really fast.
I was going to say, it's already almost April.
Yeah.
A month and a half left to school, and then you graduate. Oh, gosh. All right, well, we'll talk to Carly first. Let's talk about basketball first of all. I was looking up, and 1,000-point scorer, 6th in Sigourney history, first team All-Sickle, first team All-District. Just talk a little bit about the basketball season.
We knew going into this season that we had the potential to grow off where we were as a team last year, and we kind of lost some key players on our team from last year. So being a senior-led group, we know that we kind of had to step up and take on different roles. And so Mom met with us at the beginning of the year and was like, this is your guys' year. Like, you can take it over or you can just do whatever you want with it. Like, the season's in your hands. And I think all of us seniors did a really good job with that, and we played really well this year, and we had a lot of fun.
Okay, name off the seniors that were on the team.
Myself, Aaron Dawson, Ava Finneran, Maya Smallwood, and Olivia Hammis.
That's going to be a big hole to fill. Shay, how do you think the basketball season went?
I talked at our banquet we had just a few weeks ago, and I said, as a coach, you always look back and think, oh man, I think we should have won this one, or this shouldn't have been this close. And when I looked back, I don't think that we could have done any better. I feel like we went as far as we could have. We lost to a really good team. Obviously, they made the state tournament. And in fact, I really thought that there might be a few more that we might have lost here or there. But I challenged the girls going into Christmas break, and I said, you guys have a chance to win out. I said, it's not going to be easy, but you can win out. And then especially we had that second basic Christmas break where we had 2 weeks off. And I think there was a time we had 8 games in 11 days or something. And credit to them. They stepped up and we won every one of them. And it was awesome.
So I guess that leads to the question, Carly, would you rather practice or have a game?
I would rather have a game.
I think it's a grind, but everybody wants to play a game. That is so true. Now first of all, most people know that Shay was my assistant while I was here at Sigourney for a couple years. And Carly was little, but she was in the gym. Carly, do you have any memories from when I was coaching with your mom?
I just remember being at practices sometimes. I remember the girls that you guys used to coach, and especially now, I still know a lot of them. I don't remember too much about the actual game of basketball. I just remember how fun it was being around them all the time.
And you would draw up plays on the whiteboard and hand it to me during the game, and we'll try it sometime. But what memory do you have, Shay, of you and I coaching together?
Obviously we have some really good coaches in the conference. And so anytime we played Linville Sully, those were always my favorites. We've known Jerry and Jeff forever. And they always had well-coached teams. We obviously had well-coached teams.
Of course.
And so it was always fun. And they had good teams. So anytime you have 2 good basketball teams playing each other, those are the games you remember.
And I am going to bring up one big memory from beating Linville Sully. It was here in Sigourney. Yeah. Sloppy game. Both teams are really, really good, but we both stress defense. So it's kind of a sloppy game, lots of turnovers. But Linville Sully turned it over. 11.2 seconds left. I call the timeout. I throw in Whitney Abrahamson, who hadn't played the entire second half.
Yeah.
And we were down 2, and I drew up a play for a 3-pointer. And the girls ran it perfectly. Whitney hits the 3 from corner pocket, and we're up 1. Jerry calls a timeout, and 1.6 seconds left. And in this time, and they have to go to the full court. In this timeout, the greatest assistant coach in the history of assistant coaches goes, put both bigs on the ball. And just a reminder, we had Carolyn Home at 6'1", Stephanie Atwood at 6'2", and they're going to have to go over the bigs. So put both bigs on the ball, and of course they throw it up into the rafters. Olivia Hanchik gets the steal to end the game, and that was a big deal because, we talk about having good coaches, good friends as coaches in the conference. We beat Linville Sully 4 straight years.
Yes. That doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen. Jerry, let's just say, and he's a good friend of mine, but that still hurts Jerry that we won 8 straight games against Linville Sully.
Yes.
But anyway, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. But anyway, we just had a lot of fun coaching together. I love having coaches that I can give responsibility to. Shay was in charge of subbing, so she would run kids in and out, and I could just coach and game manage, and it was a lot of fun.
Definitely.
Okay, now it's track season, and Shay's a track coach, and Carly runs. You don't throw or jump or anything anymore, do you? Okay. I didn't know if they had you super busy. All your big muscles now, you're a shot putter. But just give a preview of the track season.
Yeah, we have a lot of girls out, which is awesome. A lot of freshmen, so I'm excited to kind of mix those in with a lot of our veterans. We're coming off of 2 state qualifiers, Reagan Clarahan and the 400 hurdles, and McKinley Chittick in the high jump. So obviously, we would love to see those girls back at the Blue Oval. And it's going to be exciting. Like I said, we have a lot of girls, and so I'm excited to be able to put some of those relays together. And we have a few sprinters we haven't had in the past, so should be a good year.
When is your first meet?
So we had our first indoor meet this last week, and we just kind of use that as a meet to really see like where we're at, kind of put kids in different events. And then this Tuesday, with the lovely weather forecast,
it's gonna be good.
we are set to go to Belle Plaine, so we'll see if that ends up happening.
And the great thing about the Sickle is they run some very good track meets. BGM, Belle Plaine, Iowa Valley, they run very quick, efficient track meets, so it's always a good time going to those schools.
Yeah, we actually were all just reminiscing about last year at BGM. We got sleeted on. I believe there was some snow. I'm even maybe mini-sized hail. And so I talked with Mitch, my assistant, and I said, "Remind me again why we stayed." So
because BGM, as far as I'm concerned, has the
best
concession
stand.
You gotta stay at BGM.
Yes, true.
I even remember a time when I was a volunteer assistant track coach for the throwers, and Katie Eder, and we actually tailgated at the Sickle meet at BGM. We had grill going in the parking lot and everything, so it's kind of fun. But what's your favorite event? Like, what do you like? Mine as a junior high track coach, I love the sprint med and I love the 4x1. It's just kind of like, hey, I got the fastest kids. Luckily I've had in the last several years.
Right.
Maybe not this year, but so that I don't know. What event do you like?
I personally I was a 400 800 runner. So I do like the sprint med also. Because I really feel like it's completely up to grabs until you get that 400 runner. Because you could have a super slow 1 and 2, but if you have somebody that can run a 60-second 400, that's just, you're going to do well. And anymore, like, I love the 800. That's almost turned into a sprint.
Yeah,
So,
it takes guts to run the 800.
yes, yeah. So those are my 2 fave.
Carly, what are your favorite events?
I personally like the sprint med too. I think it's a really fun race and it's really competitive. And in other races, it's easy to get stuck in a hard spot. Like you could be in front of people, you could be in the middle or in the back. And in the sprint med, everyone's right there. So it's a really competitive race, which makes it really fun. I also like the 4x4. The last race of the night, everyone's cheering you on, and it's really fun.
And I really enjoy the 4x4 too. Junior high level, sometimes it's hard to find four kids that want to run the 400. Like,
Right.
oh, come on, you can do it. We got to end the track meet right. Let's switch gears again. Softball. And as we know, Carly has committed and is going to go to UNI to play softball. What led to your decision to play?
And even some other states too. And when I went to UNI, everything just felt like natural, as meeting with the coaches, talking with some of the girls. We had we walked around campus and we kind of took a tour, and then I sat down in the locker room with some girls and kind of talked to them for probably like an hour, I'd say. And my mom went with me on my visit, and she talked to the coaches while I was with the girls, and like I was just asking the girls, questions like, what's it like? What's a day in the life like? And every single answer they gave me, I just loved the answer I was getting. And I remember after we left, I looked at my mom in the car and I was like, I love it. And she was like, me too. And I think that honestly was what we both needed. Going to mini schools, it's hard. You have the pros and cons of each school, and we didn't see a con with UNI, and immediately after we left, we knew that was the spot where I was going to end up.
Good, because I know usually it is kind of a gut feeling, that you're going to feel college coaches come and go, but you need to click with the team.
Yeah, for sure. That was a big part in my decision.
Good. And are you excited about her being just a couple hours away?
I am. I'm very excited. And I've told a few people this, and I told Coach Jacobs this too. When we, like she said, she was with the girls, and so I was with the three coaches, and we talked. And we talked about basketball. We talked about everything under the sun. And I loved them, but that's also their job.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
To
Yep.
to
Sell
make
it.
that
Sell it.
connection. And but what really sold it for me was last year when we had those terrible storms come through. That was in the middle of their softball season, and I bet it wasn't a half hour after they had came through, she got a text from Coach Jacobs wanting to know if we were okay, if she was okay, if our farm was okay. So, she hadn't even signed yet. I mean, she had verbally committed, but she hadn't signed. And so that told me as a mom what kind of coach he is and what kind of person he is.
Oh, that's a good story. Yeah. As a college coach, I always try to connect. That's how you make connections. And I still actually keep in contact with kids that I recruited.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where, I don't know, it's just the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I always handwritten letters and all that stuff. Now it's everything. Oh, print out, send out, 500 letters to every kid in the state, and that's just not how you get kids, as far as I'm concerned.
I think he was actually her first handwritten letter, also. So,
Coaches listening, I'm telling you. And you always hear stories about, they're the first one to contact me, or and stories about being personal and seeing if they're okay, if somebody's in the hospital or whatever. All those things really lead to personal relationships, and you're going to play hard. You're going to play hard for them all the time. What else do we need to talk about? I don't know.
Actually, I'm going to butt in here. Let's take a quick break. Let's promo some stuff here that we've got going on this week, as hopefully we'll get back into our Athlete of the Week, sponsored by Keokuk County Hospital and Clinics. It's a slow start to the spring season with track. When does golf even start? Does golf start up here anytime soon?
I think they have a meet next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hopefully spring track and golf gets going, and a new poll maybe will go up on Monday. I'm not going to guarantee that. We'll see if we get any nominations for the Keokuk County Hospital and Clinics Athlete of the Week. You can see the list of area schools that you can nominate from. We're also adding Albia to the list of our area schools that will feature. So I had some requests to get Albia athletes on our Athlete of the Week. So we'll get to that. Also, Kelly Style at State Farm in Oskaloosa going to be sponsoring a Team of the Week this spring and summer. So not only an Athlete of the Week, but a Team of the Week. So look for some your options to get some nominations in. I usually put that up on Sunday evenings, so just look for that. The Team of the Week, Athlete of the Week here on Steve Shetler Media. Let's go back to Hobbs and our guests this week, Carly and Shay, here on the sports section, presented by Brothers Market. Go ahead.
Okay, I was looking at my notes and I remembered some things that we were going to talk about. Your whole sports career and school career, it doesn't matter. What's your very favorite memory of high school?
I think making it to the state tournament is always something really special, no matter the sport, or, you just like to play in those competitive games. But this last year, I would say my favorite high school sports memory was playing in the game against Northland. And we knew going into the game that they were one of the best teams there, one of the best teams in the state, regardless of class, too. And the whole day, that's just all you think about. It's all you think about. And when we got to the game, I think us as a team, we were relaxed and able to play our game. We went into extra innings and eventually lost 1-0, but then they go on and win the state title. And that has to make you feel good as a team. Mm-hmm. And then it's not easy to come back the next day and win another game in less than 24 hours, and we did that. And I think that really shows how we were as a team and how us girls together just kind of were let's do it for each other. So I would say that probably has to be my favorite memory.
Well, and I know they don't play out the third game at state anymore, but we always say the 5th place team and the 2nd place team has the same record. You know, like you're
True.
both 2-1, and it's probably by one run, you know, in extra innings. So there, especially softball, there's not much room for error.
Yeah.
So if you in classic games through, you know, Iowa girls history, Woodward Granger versus Clear Creek, it was always an error, basically, a late innings that determined the state champion. So. Yes, that's a good point.
We've only watched that game about, I don't know.
20 times.
Oh, probably. Well, Northland's going to be good again, so there you go. What's your biggest regret? And hopefully you don't have very many, but I got to ask. Looking
In
back,
sports?
yes.
I don't know. I don't think I really have too many regrets. I think just sometimes you look back on games, and I'm somebody who's really hard on myself, and so I look back and I'm like, oh, I could have done this differently or this at a different time, and I think that's all it really comes down to. I don't have any one particular that stands out to me. So
Good. And the big thing is you're going to be a Division I athlete. What is your advice to young girls or boys about, you know, preparing yourself for that moment?
yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of behind the scenes work that people don't usually see. You know, being a multi-sport athlete, I'm gone 3 nights a week at lessons, no matter if it's hitting, pitching, whatever. You know, you go. Normally we have weights 2 times a week, so you wake up and you're at the school from 6 until 5 o'clock at night with track, and then I leave and I'm gone another 3 hours for lessons. And I think that's some of the stuff that people don't really see that makes people really good athletes, is when they put in extra time. And so if you have that dream in your heart like I did, I knew I had to put in extra time and put in the work and able to do that, and I think my hard work did pay off.
And, you know, I always say hard work pays off. It might not be right now. It might be in 5 years. It might be in 1 year. But people that work hard are going to be rewarded. And so, Carly, I know you've worked hard, and it's not easy all the time.
Yes.
And like you said, and any athlete that works really hard behind the scenes, people don't see that. So it's, you know, it's easy to criticize. For example, last night after the big Iowa State women's win, I was looking through Twitter, and just the people and, you know, keyboard warriors, you know, heaven forbid they hide behind a keyboard. And anyway, so people just bashing Audie Crooks. You know, she's not a small girl, but that's a lot of muscle. I mean, she's in shape.
Yeah.
And it's sad that you don't know what that kid has been through, and, you know, how hard they've worked. So I just you know, keep your comments to yourself type thing. Just be happy for people. And so I know you guys, that's how you guys live and that's how you believe, but good. And Shay, I was going to ask, advice. Any advice for young athletes?
You know, we, like, as far as she's concerned, or just in
general?
In general, I would say you need to, I think it's so important to not pick one thing and focus on it. And you know, that was one thing that I talked with the UNI coaches when we were up there, because she is a 3-sport athlete. She's never played volleyball, just because with softball, we knew she needed to travel in the fall, and that is their big recruiting time. And I said, you know, it's not going to be fair to your volleyball teams for you to be gone every weekend when they have tournaments. So we made that decision early on, but she does. She's played basketball, softball, track, and I really think that's what has helped keep her healthy. We also, when she was done with softball at the end, in the fall, normally around Thanksgiving, like, we would not let her touch a ball until mid to late January. And I think, you know, physically she needed that, mentally she needed that, and because basically she'll go from January to November in softball mode. So she needs a time to turn that off. And like she said, kids are going to have to put in extra work. You can't, if you want to go play basketball at whatever level, D1, D2, D3, you're not going to do that from November to March. And so I think that kids need to play all sports. I think it's good for them, like I said, physically, mentally. You can learn lessons in other sports that will help you in your primary sport. And it will challenge you, but enjoy your high school. Enjoy your high school sports. And, I know I've reposted on Twitter a few times, well, X.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, X.
That it's just something having your community and your town behind you. I know for the girls, like when we went to state in softball, like that's what they remember is how the community comes, and they know the people that are in the stands, and that's what they remember. So
good point. And I'm a big multi-sport advocate. I mean, they keep bringing it up because it's such a good win, but Audie Crooks, they were showing her winning, the state shot put in high school. So it's good that, and you learn lessons in every single sport. Speaking of lessons, I was going to ask Shay, coaches that you worked with throughout the years, I want you to give me one thing that you learned from them. Because that's another thing I think as coaches, it's important to work with other coaches. You learn a little bit something from every coach that you've ever worked with to get your philosophy. And I've been very lucky to work with some great coaches over the years, and I've picked up a few things here and there. But first of all, from Central College, if you don't know, Shay played basketball at Central for the legendary Gary Boink. What's one thing you learned from Coach Boink?
So this is interesting. I love Gary. If anybody knows Gary, they love Gary. But people always think that someone has to show respect by calling somebody coach. Like it's got to be Coach Moore or, when I played college basketball, we called Gary. And I remember him saying, it doesn't matter what you call me. Like you can call me coach and not respect me.
Sure.
So, that was a philosophy that I kind of went with. I didn't make my athletes call me Coach Moore. I knew today, and especially as the years went by, coaching her class because they'd be at our house spending the night or whatever. But that was one thing with Gary, and everything was fun with Gary.
Coach Achenbach.
Yes, Larry Achenbach, my first job in Albia. I would say with him, it was really his passion and his fire, and he genuinely cared about every one of his athletes. He really did. And he knew even if they weren't going to go on to play basketball, if they loved it a little bit or if they just were kind of out there for the social aspect, he treated them with the same respect no matter what. And I hope to have passed that along, I guess.
Good. Brian O'Neill.
Yes, Brian. He actually was a volunteer assistant at Central my senior year. Like he volunteered to kind of help out and learn from Gary. And then I was with him at English Valleys. And I would say really a lot of just knowing the other teams and, some of that work. And that was really my first look at you're not just a head coach. You don't just show up. You have to do scouting and stuff like that. So I would say that from O'Neill.
Okay, and me.
With you, I would definitely say the preparation, the pregame, kind of piggybacking off of O'Neill's, breaking down film, other players' tendencies. We would do walkthroughs, and the whole thing of when you run an out-of-bounds play, you run it to score, not just to get the ball in.
Yes.
So that was always our goal, and I would probably say that about 15 times in a month. We're not just getting the ball in. Go score.
And I could tell you, Erin Utterback, Michaela Gretter, they averaged 6 to 8 points a game on out-of-bounds plays.
Yes.
So, I tell you what, I think it's important. And what's the point of doing anything unless you're going to score, right?
Yep.
So,
yep. Yes.
Good deal. So we're going to add a little thing to our broadcast. Let's see. Turn the page. Maybe. Okay, since Steve has done this or that on his Facebook page, I'm going to do a little rapid fire this or that.
Which, by the way, we should point out that Carly Goodwin is actually in charge of the this or that.
What?
She puts those together for Stacy Flint.
Nice.
That's correct.
I was wondering, did anybody pick the wine cellar the other day?
Oh, I think so.
I think a couple of them said, let's think big. Let's do both.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and some of them are going to be more kid related and, us older people. Okay, Carly, this or that, Instagram or TikTok?
TikTok.
Okay, since, we're old. X or Facebook?
That's tough. I like X, but Facebook does keep you updated on stuff. That's the only.
Exactly. That's why I like
that is
Facebook.
tough, yeah.
Okay, Carly, jeans or sweatpants?
Sweatpants.
And I know the answer to this, but flip-flops or slides?
Flip-flops.
I got to get the toe tan going on.
Yes.
Okay, hoodie or crew?
Hoodie.
All right. And I know the answer to this too, but tank top or t-shirt?
Tank top.
Tan.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Hair down or a pony?
Ponytail usually.
Okay. Yeah, but I got a hat on. Straight or curly hair?
Curly.
Yeah. Okay, pedicure or manicure?
Manicure.
Ooh. Pedicure or manicure?
Pedicure.
Got to have the toes. And I got them done last weekend. Car or truck?
Ooh. I'm more of an SUV fan, so
Okay.
if you count that as
No, that's not the question, Carly.
truck.
Car or truck?
Truck.
Well, I guess I can. It's not on here, but I guess SUV or minivan.
SUV.
I am thinking about getting a minivan. What the heck? I got lots of animals, including an 8-year-old. Cat or dog?
Dog.
Cat or dog?
Dog.
I've become a cat person. I don't know why. So they can snuggle with me at night. Math class or science class?
Math.
Kindergarten or third grade?
Kindergarten.
That's where it's at. Okay, and I kind of know the answer to this, but for the viewers, basketball or track?
Basketball.
Basketball or track?
Basketball.
Okay. Basketball or softball?
Softball.
But
Both.
okay. I love my softball too, so basketball or softball?
I do have to say basketball, but I love watching her.
Okay. There we go. Beach or mountains? I know.
Mountains.
Yes.
I knew that.
Okay. Well, I did a different one. Campfire or ranger ride?
Ooh. Let's go with the Ranger ride.
There we go. And I do have a story about ranger ride with Carly. I came over to hang out, and Berkeley was little. Like, we're talking little, like 15, 18 months old. Like, little. I was holding on maybe younger than that. So we take the ranger out with Graham, because Graham wants to see if we can find some monarch eggs. So anyway, and then we go, let's go look at the cows. So we're riding, and yeah, I'm holding Berkeley, and we're, whoa. I was like, oh my gosh, we're having shaken baby syndrome. So I was like, I think Berkeley turned out all right.
She's
but-
okay. I mean, she does love wrestling, so
well,
maybe that's why.
dun, dun.
Maybe that's why.
But I was like, stop hitting the bumps, Carly. We're shaking the baby. Steak or hamburger?
Steak.
Since you're, have to watch a lot of games. Walking taco or super nachos?
Super nachos.
Then hot dog or pork burger?
Hot dog.
Home run or squeeze bunt?
Home run.
Home run or squeeze bunt? For the win.
Squeeze bunt.
All right, and that's all I have for
I've
this or
got
that.
one.
Okay.
Portal or stay at the same school for 4 years?
Stay at the same school.
Stay. Unless it's, I will, there's asterisks to that.
But it's getting ridiculous.
It's.
Agree.
Obviously from the Caden Proctor.
I was going to say,
Yes.
yeah, and I purposely did not put that in the week in review because we don't give it. We
It's
don't
a
need
hot
to give
topic.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't want to divert, but you know, you played Division III, and I luckily somehow got to play Division I. And even 30 years ago, I mean, what else did we really need? I mean,
Yeah.
we got school paid for the most part. I mean, we got to travel. We got to be with the team. When we're with the team, they fed us.
Yeah.
I mean, books are paid for. I don't get why athletes need to earn $2 million. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I liked my free shoes after the season, you know, my sweatpants. I didn't need a whole closet full of Nike stuff to be happy, I guess.
Right.
But I don't
Well,
know.
and I just wonder too a little bit like what that does to the team dynamic. I don't know. It would be interesting. I'm not sure.
And I wonder that too, because I know the Swarm at Iowa, the We Will Collective at Iowa State, they don't sign everybody. Not everybody gets into the collective. And I know they have to do charity work, and which is great, and that's great I think you should have to. But yeah, not everybody gets signed, so I don't know how that's going to all play out.
Yeah.
Do you have an NIL deal?
Oh, sure. No, I don't have one right now, but a lot of my teammates that will be at UNI, you know, they have some to start with, and so I think it's probably a possibility that sometime in the future that I will.
You're going to get a NIL deal from Steve Shetler show?
Well, maybe.
I mean, I could use a spokesperson. You could create more this or that's or something. I don't.
Oh, are we ready for this week's pick'ems?
Well, let's bring up our graphic. Now, this is not updated, but I mean, we need to see it just so we see your picture, Jenny, from your Cyclones days, because there's too much girl action going on here on the sports. You're all, I'm talking about pedicures and manicures. I'm the only guy here this morning. This is weird. So anyway, there's Jenny Hobbs from her Cyclones day, and then you were also seeing me on your screen from my middle school days at the middle school that no longer even is here in Sigourney anymore, shooting a free throw. I was a heck of a free throw shooter back in middle school. I don't know what happened to me in high school, but anyway, our non-updated pick'em standings there. Jenny, I know I sent you the video from last week. We
good
need
deal.
to do some math.
will.
How did you fare last week?
I went 4-3 last week.
Okay. I
So-
probably didn't do that good. But, you know, before we go into our pick'ems today, I will say that I did pick James Madison and Grand Canyon to win last night. So thank
see,
you.
I fell asleep. I missed the end of the Grand
Grand
Canyon.
Canyon won.
I did not pick them. Sorry, but well, maybe I did because they're the Lopes, and I used to coach Nebraska Cardi the Lopers, so I'm a little particular for the Lopers. But and I run. Of course, I have a bracket in my room because I'm crazy like that, and all the kids fill it out. They look forward to it every year, and it's always a non-basketball kid that wins.
Yeah.
Like last year, a kid won because Miami made it to the Final Four, and they wanted to go to Miami on vacation. So they just kept picking Miami, and it worked out for them because there's so many upsets. But that's the best part about March.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is the upsets.
My wife won our family pool last year.
See?
She knows nothing about college basketball. It's usually either my wife or my daughter, which, if you know Riley, she doesn't know anything about college basketball. But what do we got for today? What are our games?
Okay, the first one is NCAA men's basketball game, Iowa State versus Washington State.
Iowa State.
Iowa State.
It's going to be a tough one, but I'm going to go Iowa State.
Yes, Iowa State.
Oh, that makes me nervous then. Everybody picks them. It's like, oh. Another NCAA men's game, storied programs, Michigan State versus number 1 seed, North Carolina.
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
I love Tom Izzo in March. Do you know he's really not that tall?
Yeah.
I mean,
He's only like 5'6",
yeah,
5'7".
yeah, and I've met him, and because Janelle used to coach at
Yes.
Michigan State, so I went up there and worked camps. Yeah, he's not a very tall guy. But anyway, don't mess with Tom Izzo in March, but North Carolina is just too much. I'm going to go UNC.
Definitely Carolina.
A matchup of current coach versus their old school. This is men's again. Oregon versus Creighton.
Creighton.
I'm going to go with Oregon just to
The Ducks are hot.
upset this.
I'm going to go with Creighton.
I think I actually picked Oregon. I'll stick with that. They look good at the end of that Pac-12 tournament, and their center looks like an amazing athlete. So I'm going Oregon.
I think Oregon's playing tough right now, but I got to go Creighton. Just got to go Creighton. Okay, the NIT men's game that it's at Utah, so maybe more than 4,000 people show up. I don't know. Iowa at Utah.
Iowa.
Let's show some. Go Iowa.
Oh, God, that's a hard one. They're so up and down. We've discussed this so many times. They're so up and down.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Utes at home.
I'll hope Iowa wins, but if I have to pick them, I'm going with Utah.
Yeah.
Now, NCAA women's tournament, Green Bay versus Tennessee women.
Tennessee.
I still love Tennessee from back in the day, so I'm going to go Tennessee.
And that's why I put it on here, because I know you're a big Tennessee fan. I do love Tennessee. I'm a little partial to the Green Bay Phoenix. Do you know the Hall sisters from West Liberty?
Yeah.
All the Halls?
Yep.
Their cousin plays at Green Bay. Oh. So I'm going to go Green Bay.
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Then a little softball today, which I found out Carly's going to. UNI softball versus Indiana State Sycamores.
UNI.
Gotta go UNI.
UNI.
Forced into that
wanted
one.
to make
I was
you
gonna say,
think about it for a
don't
second.
feel pressured, Steve.
Yeah. No pressure. No pressure.
And the last one, and I didn't even put the Iowa women on here because we don't have to. Everybody's going to say Iowa.
Yes.
We don't even have to guess that one. But the big one for tomorrow, Iowa State women versus Stanford at Stanford.
I'm going with Iowa State.
I am too. I feel like that was kind of an eye opener last night, and I think that they've got things figured out.
I can't wait to see Audie Crooks versus Cameron Brink.
Yeah, I agree.
And if they even put her on her, I do worry about Audie having to go away from the basket to guard her.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to stay loyal. I'm going to say Iowa State by 2.
And they're going against Stanford?
At Stanford.
I will go, because I can't pick Iowa State twice in the same show. Stanford, definitely.
All right, probably a safe bet, but you never know. It's March.
That's right.
It's
Yes.
March. All right, that's all the pick'ems
All
I
right.
have.
All right, so that does it for our show today. Again, the sports section live at Brothers Market at 118